want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about sports in the state of Michigan? You've got the truth, all right. Can you handle the truth? Find out right now on the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, the show that detects and provides truth, research, and statistics about the Tigers, Lions, Red Wings, Pistons, Wolverines, and Spartans. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast and listen to it in audio form wherever you get your podcasts. Follow it on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Michigan_Truth, and like its Facebook page and know the truth.
Well. History has finally been made. I'm Taylor Phillips, your Michigan Sports Truth Detective. Of course, we're going to recap the Lions beating the Ravens on the road. First time for everything, right? Also preview the Lions' next game at Ford Field against the Cleveland Browns, and then dissect into the Tigers blowing their 15.5 game lead to the Cleveland Guardians in the American League Central Division standings. Not much to say there, but first of all, our disclaimer: if you can't handle any news, stats, research, or criticism regarding any of our teams, then stay completely away from the show, let alone its comment section, at all times. So with that being said, the Lions finally beat the Baltimore Ravens on the road for the first time in history. 38-30 was the final score. Almost no one thought it would ever happen or predicted it to occur because the Lions have had so much trouble against the Ravens on the road and have never beaten them on the road prior to that contest. Both offenses were clicking, especially in the second half. And I'm going to open this up on ESPN.com. Of course, the Lions. I'm going to share the screen right about now. As we check out the box score, first off, David Montgomery, 151 yards rushing. A new career high, huh? 13 receiving, so that's 164 total yards. Jared Goff, 20 of 28, 202 passing yards. But Montgomery and Gibbs, 2 touchdowns each. Wow. The Lions have done very, 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 very well when Montgomery and Gibbs each score at least 1 touchdown. Of course, Gibbs, 22 carries, just 67 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a touchdown on 7 catches for 77 receiving yards. But his touchdown was key, tying up the game at 21 early in the third quarter. The Lions turned up their defense in the second half as well, although that wasn't easy. 7 sacks, 30 total pressures, limiting Lamar Jackson to just 288 passing yards, 21 of 27, 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Mark Andrews and the other to Rashad Bateman. Derrick Henry, a touchdown, but also a lost fumble caused by Aiden Hutchinson, recovered by Jaden Reed when the Lions had a 1-score lead, had a 28-24 lead. They settled for a field goal, but the Lions somehow got the ball back, keeping the Ravens off the board. They also came up with a 4th down stand on a strip sack by linebacker Jack Campbell. Of course, great conversion on 4th and 2 in crunch time under the 2-minute warning on a play-action pass from Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown before David Montgomery took it all the rest of the way for an insurance touchdown, which is a second of 2 touchdowns, as I mentioned before. Just mental mistakes. The only mental mistakes is just too many wide receivers left open yet again. 2 missed interceptions by the secondary receiving defense. Of course, Terrion Arnold, just 3 total tackles. Only 1 pass defended by Brian Branch, one by DJ Reed. Both of them were dropped. They both dropped what could have been interceptions. And then you got the injury report. Cian Vaki left the game with a groin injury, of course. But Alex Anzalone, a half a sack. Al-Qadim Muhammad, 2.5 sacks. He was stepping up, but he didn't practice today, though. As we go to DetroitLions.com for the practice report. Yeah, Cian Vaki, a groin injury, no practice. Al-Qadim Muhammad, a knee injury, no practice. So that's a little that's a little bit critical. But really, just a big statement win by those Lions. So they improved to 2-1. And then they got the Cleveland Browns, of course, coming into Ford Field in week 4. Sunday at 1 on Fox. So the Lions are 8.5 point favorites. The Browns' point differential is -22. Pat, the Browns are coming off a 13-10 win at home over the Green Bay Packers. They were down. The Packers led 10-0 to start the game. Andre Smith with a 55-yard field goal to win the game as time expired for the Browns. Time of possession, Browns offense time of possession was only 25 minutes, 46 seconds. The line, yeah. So one of the keys to the game is constantly contain and rush Joe Flacco, who is age 40, a veteran. He's filling in for Deshaun Watson, who was out for a long time with an Achilles injury, and replacing Baker Mayfield, who was already the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Flacco has thrown 77 for 126 out of 126 yard completed passes for 631 total passing yards, just 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Oh, man. But the Browns have many other good starting players. Of course, starting with the offense, guards Wyatt Teller and Joe Bitonio, lead running back rookie Quinshon Judkins, tight ends David Njoku, and rookie Ronnie Hickman, and receivers Jerry Jeudy, familiar name. Another familiar name is Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond, and Jamari Thrash, who all run very fast. So the defense is going to have to step on their toes. The defense is going to have to be on their toes 60 minutes. So now from what I just recently read on X, the Lions are going to send cornerback Amik Robertson to help Terrion Arnold at corner to try to cover those receivers, man-to-man coverage. And then on defense for the Browns, you got all-pro edge rusher Myles Garrett, of course, and edge rusher Isaiah McGuire, who is replacing Zadarius Smith, who got traded to the Lions. Smith is with the Eagles now, by the way. But back to the Browns defense, linebackers rookie Carson Schwezinger and former Wolverine Devin Bush Jr., defensive lineman, former Wolverine Mason Graham and Malik Collins. Collins has recorded 5 sacks in each of the previous 2 seasons. And you got defensive backs Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome Jr., another familiar name, and Grant Delpit, all led by defensive coordinator and former Lions head coach Jim Schwartz. Very familiar name. Now, and the defensive unit has only allowed 20.3 points per game thus far this season and held the Packers to just 230 yards total in the 13-10 win in Cleveland against Green Bay. The Browns, one of their 2 losses was an ugly one in Baltimore, 41-17 to the Ravens. Week 1, they only lost by 1 point, 17-16 at home to the Cincinnati Bengals. Battle of Ohio, of course. So better man coverage as well, plus stop the run. The defense, one other key for the defense is keep up as fast as you can with the Browns' offensive unit. Because like I said before, like I pointed out before, all those running backs and receivers, they can all run really fast for the Brownies. Browns are 1-2, third in the AFC North. That's nothing, but they have a really good defense, plus a very fast an offensive unit full of very fast players that can run really, really fast. But Joe Flacco is age 40, so that could be an Achilles heel for the Browns, something that the Lions can try to take advantage of, with starting with their defensive front. Aiden Hutchinson leading the way, of course. He got a sack. He got a forced fumble. He forced a turnover in Baltimore. 18 straight games with a hit, I think. But quite honestly, Michael Grindham, welcome. All right, on Instagram Live. So, like I pointed out, the Lions are 8.5-point favorites. It would have to come down to containing Joe Flacco. 4 interceptions thus far, thrown the first 3 weeks in the NFL season thus far this season. Jared Goff only just 1 interception. Seven touchdowns, 74 of 95 for 761 passing yards. So Goff has outmatched Flacco, as I showed you. So the Lions' offense has statistically outmatched the Cleveland Browns' defense or offense. In terms of offenses, as far as offenses go between those two teams, the Lions have outmatched the Browns. one key for Jared Goff is to keep scrambling more, try to get away from Myles Garrett. Plus, for the offensive line to try to keep Garrett and his defensive front away from Goff, protect Goff even more in the pocket, like they did in Baltimore. The Lions allowed 0 sacks in Baltimore, while the Lions' defensive front recorded 7 sacks. I mentioned that before on 30 total pressures. Wow. So if I were to predict a winner and final score, I would say Lions 31 and the Browns 20. So there you go. And then you got the and then let's switch to the Tigers Tribune. The Tigers blow a 15.5 game lead to the Cleveland Guardians in the American League Central Division standings. Yeah, I was a little worried, but then again, the Tigers' offense is terrible. They have an awful offense, let alone starting lineup, an awful starting pitching rotation minus Tarek Skubal, an awful bullpen of relief pitchers minus Kyle Finnegan and Will Vest. They're starting to wear down. They're starting to regress a little bit, but I still think they're good. But the rest of the relief pitcher, the rest of the relief pitchers minus Tyler Holton, who's been pitching lights out thus far, have been awful. Awful defense. Way too many errors committed. A dumb over loyal manager in AJ Hinch, who keeps replacing Kerry Carpenter in some games at the wrong times. A weak front office in team president Scott Harris and general manager Jeff Greenberg, who completely failed to address the offense at the trade deadline, for example, and a cheapskate of an owner in Chris Ilitch, who keeps spending way more money on stadium re-renovations and empty parking lots, instead of the products on the field and on the ice. And even if with the Red Wings, but even if the Tigers do win the division or somehow make the MLB postseason, they will get run out of it. Let's say they win the division, but still, even if they win the division, whoever they face, it will definitely not be easy for them, to say the least. You got the Boston Red Sox, the Cleveland Guardians, the New York Yankees, the Houston Astros, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Tigers have very little offense, if not zero. And if you can't score, you can't win. I've said this hundreds of times before on my podcast, on my social, on this podcast, on its social media platforms, and everything else. It doesn't matter who you start on the mound, whether it be Tarek Skubal or Jack Flaherty. The Tigers designated Charlie Morton for assignment. Hagan GTFO. Chris Paddock optioned to the bullpen. Well, he was DFA'd. Charlie Morton returned to the Braves. So the Tigers have a very, very small starting rotation. Got a comment here. 19 strikeouts last night. That's trash, of course. That's an example of why the Tigers' offense can't produce. Zach McKinstry, in one at bat, looked at 3 straight strikes. I don't care about the ABS coming to fruition in the regular season next year and starting in 2026. The Tigers offense has to help themselves. Stop relying on the umpiring, okay? Stop conspiring. Get your own work freaking done, period. Otherwise you're done. You're out. So, let's get to what we've learned. The Lions made a humongous and historic statement win in Baltimore, but will have their hands full with the Browns coming into Ford Field. And of course, the Tigers as a whole franchise are awful. It's not worth even overreacting whatsoever. I'm really sorry. I can't root for the Tigers anymore until they address the offense or change ownership. So that's what we've learned on the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. I'm Taylor Phillips. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. At the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Like its videos and turn on all notifications on the bell icon. Click or tap on live to find its latest full episodes and check out its shorts videos as well. Also, watch it live and follow it on Twitch at Michigan Sports Truth. Listen to it in audio form on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music /Audible, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and Gio7. Also, join its supporters club on Spreaker, just $2 a month. On social media, follow it on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Michigan_Truth, and on Reddit at u/Michigan_Truth. Also, like its Facebook page. Also, follow it on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Michigan_Truth. Statewide business endorsements go to Cops and Donuts, Grand Traverse Pie Company, J&H Family Stores, Positive Chimney and Fireplace, Rally House, Michigan and Rally House, Detroit, Jets Pizza, Michigan's Adventure, Alpine Chocolate House with 5 locations in Plymouth, Manistee, Boyne City, Gaylord, and Sault Ste. Marie, Hudsonville Ice Cream, Grandpa's Mini Donuts, Tom's Food Markets, Big B Coffee, Detroit Wing Company, Simply Delightful, JR's All-Star Haircuts for Men, Tropical Touch Spa, and Main Street Rocks. Main Street Rocks in Durant is also a proud sponsor of Swartz Creek Youth Baseball. Metro Detroit area business endorsements go to Geno Surf, Avenue American Bistro, Mocha Modern 7 Bistro, Northville Sports Den, Union Barber in Birmingham and Ferndale, United Mobile Power Wash and Dry Ice Works in Southfield, The Spot Food Truck in Dearborn in Detroit, Athletico Physical Therapy on Woodward in Ferndale, Blind Owl Royal Oak, Cali Tickets, call 877-225-8425 or visit CaliTickets.com. The Jagged Fork, Goodman Acker Law Firm and Northwestern Technological Institute, the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill in Ann Arbor, Vitamin Shop in Auburn Hills, and Legacy Family Dental Center in Dearborn. One more comment. Tigers hang on to their prospects because they don't have a plan on spending any money. Illich is a waste of skin. That is true as well. Local business endorsements go to the B4 Foundation in Ithaca, Front Porch Sutton's Bay, El Cilantro Taco Shop in Petoskey, Bay Mills Resort and Casino in Brimley, Fuel Up Nutrition in Clare, United Food Service Solutions in Grand Ledge, Fletcher's Pub Texas Corners in Kalamazoo, the Michigan Theater of Jackson, Hooters in Saginaw, Anna's House in Grand Rapids, Coffee Beanery in Flushing, and Spicer's Boat City in Houghton Lake. Traverse City business endorsements go to TC Man Cave, Erica Nita of Traverse City Real Estate, Yen Yoga and Fitness, Firefly Kitchen and Bars, Traverse City Fun Running, and Well-Being with Catherine Palms. I want to thank Traverse City Fun Running for following us on Instagram. Cadillac business endorsements go to Cadillac Grill, Cadillac Nutrition, Cadillac Horizon Books, Creative Embroidery for designing the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast logo on my long sleeve shirt and t-shirt, Michigan Coffee Company, Pro Quality Cleaners, Raven Social Restaurant, Northern Star Event Rentals, The Food Mafia's Let's Roll With It Rolled Ice Cream, Tees Tanning Salon, Toy Town in Cadillac and Reed City, Max Swings Indoor Golf, Cadillac Party Lounge and the Sweet Shop, and finally Lake City business endorsements go to Cuts by Melanie, the LC Tap House, To the Moon Bakery, Northern Auto Lab, and the Misaki Golf Club. Until next time, this is Taylor Phillips signing off, but stay on the lookout and remember that we always observe and detect the truth about our teams in the state of Michigan because the truth is everywhere. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Power to the people, hit 'em with a hind, baba booey to y'all.